is up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you are new to the channel, I am Gold Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today I am quite excited. We are in the completely redesigned 2021 Ford F-150, courtesy of Bob Ruth Ford in Dillsburg, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So you guys may or may not have seen my first look video of the new F-150 already. Absolutely was a huge fan of this truck from the start, so I have been quite giddy to actually get my hands on it, and now is the time. So in this video, I will be going over everything about this one, from pricing, engine, braking, acceleration, tech, and of course everything else as well. And so having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so as you can imagine, there are several different trim levels for the 2021 F-150. First one being the XL, starting at $28,940, XLT for $35,050, Lariat, which is the one we have today, starting at $44,695, King Ranch for $56,330, Platinum for $59,110, and lastly the Limited, starting at $70,825. So as you can imagine, with all of those trim levels, there are actually 6 different engine configurations available for the 2021 F-150. So I'm going to ramble them off real quick for you, but essentially each trim level is going to have their own engine configuration options. First one is a 3.3 liter direct injected V6, 290 horsepower, 265 pound-feet of torque. Then there's a 2.7 liter turbocharged V6, 325 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque, 3.5 liter turbocharged V6, 400 horsepower, 500 pound-feet of torque. Then there is the 5 liter naturally aspirated V8 with 400 horsepower, 410 pound-feet of torque, 3 liter turbo diesel V6 coming in at 250 horsepower, 440 pound-feet of torque. And lastly, the 3.5 liter hybrid V6 with a 35 kilowatt battery, 430 horsepower, 570 pound-feet of torque. And by the way, that 0 to 60 time for that last engine configuration, approximately 5.5 seconds. So that of course is the very quickest one. 700 miles of range on that one as well. And that was actually, first second I hopped in this one, I looked at the gas, it said 558 miles until empty. And I was pretty impressed at that. And this isn't even completely full, so that is pretty cool. And actually, even with all that acceleration numbers for that last engine, still 24 city, 24 highway. So very impressive MPG numbers there considering. But regardless of engine setup that you go with, the transmission configuration is going to be the same across the board. For every single trim level, you will find a 10-speed automatic transmission, the same transmission found in my old Ford Mustang GT. So that is pretty cool. MPG numbers overall, kind of to sum up all of his engine configurations: 19 city, 24 highway, 20 in the city, 26 on the highway is going to be the best. That belongs to the 2.7 turbocharged V6 rear-wheel drive configuration, in case anybody wanted the very best MPG numbers there. But so enough with the MPG numbers. Let's actually get into the fun stuff here. Let's do a quick little acceleration test, but before we do that, drive modes, wanted to touch on them. There is normal, eco, sport, tow and haul, slippery, deep snow and sand, and mud and rut as well. Adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the traction control systems as well. And essentially the way that works is it actually uses sensors in the wheels, and when those sensors detect any kind of loss of traction, essentially it is going to work to correct that. So all in all, quite a bit of adjustments there. But now, having mentioned all that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway, and let's do a quick little acceleration test here in our 2021 F-150, and let's see how quickly we can get this one here up to speed. All right, so I think I found a nice little spot here, and let's go. Go, baby, go. Oh my gosh, it's fun. Wow. This is a truck, man. Definitely no issues emerging onto the highway. That was quite an impressive acceleration for a truck, especially with this not being the Raptor. So dang, that was I'm just gonna keep saying that was nice, guys. Anyways, to go along with that acceleration, braking is equally important. And so as expected, you will find 4-wheel disc brakes coming standard across the board. As far as that 60 to 0 stopping distance goes, it is going to come in at approximately 136 feet. I've been finding it tested at. So having said that, let's go ahead and just Yeah, really no issues with the braking feel whatsoever though, so although that number doesn't sound the best, it's still not the worst. I've tested worse than 136 feet, but really, it feels quite nice. Definitely no issues with bringing the F-150 to a stop, so still kind of impressed there despite that number. But so then touching on suspension and handling of the F-150, up front you're gonna get an independent front suspension. In the back, Leaf 2-stage variable rear suspension. As far as the ride quality goes, it rides like a truck. It's pretty much as expected there. It's not bad, I will say that. It's certainly not bad for a truck. It's soaking up Pennsylvania's road imperfections kind of nicely, if I'm being honest. As far as the steering feel goes, it's definitely quite nice. It has a heavier weight to it, instantly points you in the direction that you want to go. So for a truck, the steering feel is definitely quite nice there. Cabin noise, it's pretty nice as well. Actually, not a whole lot of exterior wind noises coming into the cabin. I actually just got done driving the Bronco Sport, and there was a decent amount of cabin noise with that one, but this one is like night and day compared to that. So definitely a nice serene cabin for the F-150, which kind of surprised me there. Touching on visibility, it's a truck. You guys all know pretty much, if you've driven a truck before, what kind of visibility you're going to get. It's pretty standard across the board there, so no issues for me with visibility. Also wanted to mention though, rain sensing windshield wipers are going to come standard on the King Ranch trim level and up. So what that is essentially whenever the F-150 detects any kind of mist or rainfall, it is going to automatically turn on those windshield wipers. So it's kind of like automatic headlights. It's just one less thing you got to worry about. So that is of course very nice as well. But that about rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the completely redesigned 2021 Ford F-150. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2021 Ford F-150, finished in rapid red, in case anybody was curious of the exterior color name. First, a couple facts here I wanted to give you guys. 92% of this truck is either revised or new for the 2021 model year, so that is pretty interesting. And this is the most aerodynamic F-150 ever built as well, so therefore that's why you're seeing a little bit better MPG numbers for the 2021 model year as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and start up front on the 2021 F-150 here. New active front air dam that retracts at low off-road speed and then drops 3.1 to 3.5 inches at speeds above 45 miles per hour. That is pretty interesting. Front grille is also of course going to differ depending upon the trim level that you go with. For example, the XL is going to give you a dark front grille and bumper. XLT is going to give you a chrome perimeter on that front grille with some chrome accenting on the front bumper. Lariat and Limited, which is what you guys are looking at right now, typically will give you chrome horizontal bars in that front grille, but again, there's plenty of options where you could change that out to a matte black look like you were looking at right now. Dark brown with copper accents on that front grille, coming with the King Ranch of course, and the Platinum is going to give you kind of like a diamond block front grille, kind of like Mercedes. Is kind of interesting. So that of course being the top trim level. But taking a look at the sides then, halogen headlights coming with the XL and XLT, and they will come with LED daytime running lights of course as well. LED headlights coming with the Lariat trim level and up, and that of course is what we have today, so a little better extra illumination at night with that of course. Fog lights coming with the XLT and up, but the XLT is going to actually give you halogen fog lights, whereas the Lariat trim level and up is going to give you LED fog lights. A little bit of a difference there I wanted to mention. Also still along the lines of those headlights, LED headlights with dynamic bending then coming with the King Ranch trim level and up. That's kind of interesting because essentially means when you're going around a bend at night, those headlights are going to swivel dependent upon the angle of your steering. So this is going to better help illuminating what is around that bend, so you're less likely to hit a deer or a possum or a squirrel or whatever. So that is pretty cool there too. Dual front tow hooks, you guys can see them towards the bottom. They are going to come standard for all trim levels as well. And you can get front skid plates. That is going to be optional essentially across the board, but no particular trim level is going to come with them. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the side of the F-150. So now since we are around side of this one, black front fender accents coming with the XL, chrome fender accents essentially with all other trims, and again there's some options there to go ahead and switch that up. Chrome beltline molding coming with the Platinum and Limited trim levels, and those two are going to give you chrome door handles along with that. Copper accents coming on the lower portion of the truck, that is going to be with the King Ranch. It's kind of a universal theme with that one. Running boards coming with the King Ranch trim level and up, and of course optional on all other trim levels. By the way, power deployable running boards coming with the Platinum and Limited. Essentially when you open up the door, they will fold down for you, and then when you close the door, they're going to tuck up again. So that is a pretty cool feature there. But when it comes to those side mirrors then, power adjustable black side mirrors are going to come with all trim levels. However, you're going to get chrome mirror caps for the Platinum. Did want to mention that. Can get them body colored of course as well, like you're looking at right now. Heated side mirrors coming with the XLT trim level and up. You will get integrated turn signals for the Lariat trim level and up. Along with that, LED approach lamps as well. And you will get an auto-dimming driver's side mirror, again with the Lariat trim level and up. But then taking a look down at the wheel setup, 17-inch steel wheels coming with the XL, 17-inch aluminum alloys for the XLT, 18-inch machined aluminum alloys for the Lariat and King Ranch, 20-inch polished aluminum alloys for the Platinum, and 22-inch polished aluminum alloys for the Lariat. So quite a few differences when it comes to those wheel configurations, and of course there are actually optional wheel configurations available as well then. But now, let's go ahead and make our way to the back. So let me touch on the taillights first. LED taillights coming with the King Ranch trim level and up. It's going to be optional otherwise. Satin aluminum tailgate accents for the Platinum and Limited for that high-end look back there. There are going to be 2 rear tow hooks back there towards the bottom once again as well. And of course you got a tow hitch back there. And by the way, that rear tow connector, the towing capacity is going to range pretty substantially depending on which configuration you go with. It ranges from 5,000 to 14,000 pounds. And that's dependent upon the engine setup. It's dependent upon the cab size and whether you go rear wheel drive or 4-wheel drive, etc. So you guys can look at the Ford website if you wanted to for that, but can tow up to 14,000 pounds. So that's pretty impressive there. But of course you got that F-150 lettering etched into the rear tailgate as well. And just below it all, you guys can see the large exhaust outlet coming out the side there with the chrome tips. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next. As always, here is that exhaust clip. So, but now since we are around back of the F-150, when it comes to opening that rear tailgate, there are several different ways to go ahead and do that. There is a remote tailgate release that is going to come with the Lariat trim level and up. We do have that on the key fob, of course. There is a power tailgate that is going to come on the Limited, and then there is also a button by the driver's side left knee and a button on the tailgate itself, of course, as well. But we'll say once opened up, to get actually back in that tailgate area, there's a tailgate assist step that is going to be optional. We do happen to have it today, so I wanted to mention it. I've definitely used this in plenty of F-150 reviews before, including the Raptor actually as well, and it is quite convenient. I will say that it's a heck of a lot easier getting into the back there with that assist step as opposed to without it. So I wanted to mention that. LED box lighting coming with the XLT trim level and up. Absolutely love that. As far as the bed liners go, you guys probably already know drop bed bed liner and spray in bed liners are both optional. None of them come standard, but they are going to be available for you if you wanted that for all trim levels. 4 cargo tie-down hooks are going to come standard across the board. Some of the cooler features though, because it does get freaking cool back here in the tailgate section, Pro Power on board. Essentially, that's an electric generator in the bed of the truck, which comes standard, by the way, with the hybrid engine configuration. That's how you're going to go ahead and get that. But that provides a 2.4 kilowatt inverter, which delivers 20 amps and 110 volts of electricity back into the bed of the truck. If you were perhaps working on a project back there and you needed the power, that is going to be available for you. And that is freaking cool, to be quite honest. But also, BoxLink is going to come with the Lariat trim level and up. There's also metric roller markings that are available. That's found on the back side of the lift gate itself. That is pretty darn cool. Also, once you have that lift gate open, there's also a place to store your phone back there. I'm showing that to you guys right now. I had to show that to you guys. It's pretty cool. Also, there is a bottle opener back there as well. I feel like the list goes on of unique features that other trucks aren't doing right now that the F-150, the new F-150, I should say, is doing, and I absolutely love it. I love the innovation in this thing. They're thinking outside the box, not to mention the 2 recesses for C-clamps back there in the tailgate itself as well. So that is pretty darn cool. It just keeps getting better. As far as payload capacity goes, because I know everyone's curious, 1,745 pounds to 2,238 pounds. It's obviously going to range dependent upon which configuration that you go with. So all of that also very, very nice. So essentially that tailgate is where you want to be. So many features that do not come with other trucks out there. So anyways, let's go ahead now and make our way to the rear legroom, which comes in at 33.5 inches for the Super Cab, 43.6 inches then for the Super Crew, which is what we have today, of course. So 43.6. It doesn't get better than that, essentially. That is a ton of rear legroom. For reference, I'm even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had back there. There is a power rear window as well for the Lariat trim level and up. Of course, as rear seats, there is 60/40 flip-up bench seating that comes standard. That's always very convenient if you need the space for, I don't know, a Great Dane or something. Heated rear seats are going to come with the King Ranch trim level and up. They're going to be optional on the Lariat. Grab handles back there as well, including the front seats, but we'll get to that in a second. Rear center armrest with cup holders you can find back there as well. There is rear ventilation, and then essentially every kind of charging port you could possibly imagine, including a 120-volt power outlet. There's a USB power outlet. There is a regular phone charging port. There's also a 12-volt power outlet then back there as well. So essentially that pretty much covers every type of hookup that you could possibly want for the rear passengers at least. But now let's go ahead and make our way to the front seats. Manually adjustable cloth seating with the XL and XLT, power adjustable leather seating for the Lariat trim level and up, memory settings as well for the Lariat trim level and up, power lumbar adjustments for the King Ranch trim level and up. And a lot of this is going to be optional on other trim levels, like we have those power lumbar adjustments for the Lariat that we have today, and it is quite nice. Super comfortable seats, by the way, on this thing. But anyways, heated front seats for the King Ranch trim level and up. It's going to be optional on the Lariat and XLT. Max recline front seat is going to be optional on the King Ranch trim level and up. And again, like I said, this is some of the most comfortable seating I've experienced in quite a while. They really are insanely comfortable seats here in the F-150. Ford definitely got it right when it comes to the seating in this thing. So absolutely love that. No issues with long road trips in this F-150. But then taking a look at the steering wheel, it is tilt and telescoping. It is leather wrapped for the Lariat trim level and up. You will actually get wood accents if you were to go with that King Ranch trim level and up then. Heated steering wheel is going to come once again with the King Ranch trim level and up, and a heated steering wheel is going to come once again with that King Ranch trim level and up. Now, let's go ahead and make our way to the startup. Let me start by showing you guys the key here. You do have your Ford logo on the one side when you flip it over. Lock, unlock, that button to pop the rear tailgate, and that ×2 button is going to be a remote start so you can warm the truck up before you actually get inside, so you don't freeze to death here in Pennsylvania. But anyways, it is a keyless entry as well with the push button start, again for that Lariat trim level and up. So all I'm going to do is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just beneath the gauge cluster there. And by the way, when it comes to that gauge cluster, the best way to go when it comes to that is going to be the Lariat trim level and up, because that is going to give you a 12-inch fully digital gauge cluster where you can completely configure it to make it look however you want to make it look, and that is the best way. Otherwise, if you go with the XL or XLT, you're going to get the traditional gauge cluster, which isn't bad, but I will say digital gauge clusters are where it's at. You can, of course, check out your trip A, trip B up there if you wanted to. There's how many miles you have left until you hit empty as well. There's a bunch of driving statistics regarding the truck itself. There's some towing information, navigation information, Bluetooth information, radio settings. The list goes on, but really it's everything you could possibly want up there in the truck. And by the way, that tachometer is going to be in digital form all the way to your left. There is a very large digital speedometer all the way to your right. So really a dang good looking 12-inch digital gauge cluster up there. I personally absolutely love it. It looks so freaking good. But anyways, let's now make our way to overall interior quality. Twin panel moonroof coming with the Limited is going to be optional on the XLT trim level and up. And guess what? We got that option there. Dual zone climate control coming with the Lariat trim level and up, so both driver and passenger can set their own temperatures. Wireless phone charger for the King Ranch trim level and up. There's going to be universal garage door openers for the King Ranch trim level and up. Optional on some of the other trims, we actually have them for up to 3 different garage doors found on the back side of the driver's sun visor there. Multicolor ambient lighting for the Lariat trim level and up. I always love that. But some of the coolest features found in this one, if you guys look on the side of the air vents here, there is the American flag. I absolutely love that. But perhaps one of the coolest features, at least in my personal opinion, is the shifter itself. And so there's a little silver button located just above the P for park. When you press that, the shifter actually folds flat. Why would you want the shifter to fold flat? And that is a wonderful question. Let me show you guys, because when that shifter folds flat, you can then take the center armrest and fold that completely flat. So maybe when you're signing a contract, when you're out on the job, you can actually use this as a flat surface to go ahead and do that. So that is absolutely wonderful. You can also use it to put your Chick-fil-A or your Mickey D's on here. If you wanted to eat on this flat surface, that is also a very big plus as well. But anyways, definitely love those two features. Not only the fact that you can get that flat surface, but the shifter folds flat in order for you to do it. And then of course, to put that shifter back up, just press the silver button once again and it's going to fold back up for you. So that is pretty pretty darn cool if you ask me. Also wanted to mention, you do have dual glove boxes over here as well. The bottom glove box is pretty much as expected, but if you were curious how to open that top glove box, because it is kind of hidden, there is a button not located on the glove box itself, but just underneath the air vent there, is incorporated kind of just underneath the air vent. You just press that in basically and it pops open, and then you could just shut it manually. But wanted to mention that because somebody is going to ask, how in the world do I open that upper glove box? But also there are several charging ports up here. 12-volt power outlet. Once again, you have a 120-volt power outlet up here as well to charge up your drill or whatever. In front of the shifter, you have a ton of storage. And by the way, this is one of the most luxurious open and close systems in front of the shifter here I've ever seen. It's all finished in a nice sturdy silver there, so that is pretty darn cool. There's a USB charging port, phone charging port, and a little place to put your phone in there as well, since we do not have the wireless phone charger. Essentially, that keeps all the wires out of the way, so that's pretty cool. Also, another little slot for, I would assume, your phone right in the middle of the shifter, and cup holders there as well. Of course, you got your cup holders. There's going to be some ambient lighting at the bottom. That's what that little ring is at the bottom of the cup holders. Some of the ambient lighting there. Then if you open up the center armrest, there's probably what is the very most space I've ever seen in any vehicle ever within that center armrest. You also have a USB charging port. Phone charging port is in there as well. And again, an absolute ridiculous amount of space within that center armrest. And there's a little retractable tray which you can put coins in. There's actually little coin cutouts in there as well. So overall, pretty darn cool. Very nice interior quality. Kind of surprised me in a truck. I love this brushed aluminum look, although it doesn't feel aluminum, but it is a brushed aluminum look from right underneath the infotainment screen. There's also a two-toned interior. We got the dark reddish brown leather to go with the black leather as well, so that is pretty darn cool. You got an overhead sunglass holder, LED interior lighting. Really, this is where you want to be. This is a very, very nice interior to a truck, so wanted to mention that. I have no issues with it whatsoever. But then taking a look at the small TV up front here, it is going to differ actually. You get an 8-inch color touchscreen display for the XL and XLT. However, if you go with the Lariat trim level and up, you do have what is considered a small TV back in the 60s. I don't know, I wasn't alive then, but it is going to be a small TV essentially. It is a 12-inch color touchscreen display, and it is wonderful. And I will say it gets better than that, because both of these screens actually, even the 8-inch color touchscreen, uses Ford's new Sync 4 system, which is pretty cool. It's an upgrade from Sync 3 essentially. Bluetooth and audio streaming comes standard. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, of course. Factory navigation system coming with the King Ranch trim level and up. It's going to be optional in some of the other trims like the Lariat that we have today. You can of course check out your climate control settings up there as well. Also your ambient lighting controls, and there is going to be your radio settings as expected too. So when it comes to the sound systems, you have several of them, of course, with the F-150. 6 speakers coming with the XL, XLT, and Lariat. 8-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with 640 watts coming with the King Ranch and Platinum. And then there is an 18-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system with 1,080 watts. That's crazy, coming with the Limited. And so we do have that optional Bang & Olufsen sound system actually with the 640 watts at least. So what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio, see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. Gosh darn, I haven't listened to that song, I feel like, in, I don't know, 50 years. Anyways, that was plenty of a sound system for the F-150. Not the very best I've ever heard. Bowers and Wilkins is always my favorite, I feel like. But dang, that was a very, very good sound system for this one. But last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that tech display is when you do put this one in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board. Did want to also mention on top of that, Limited trim level is going to add Active Park Assist 2.0. That's obviously where the F-150 parks itself. And a Pro Trailer Backup Assist system as well, which is going to be optional in some of the other trims like we have today. So as always, that is going to lead us into safety. And so front side curtain airbags do come standard. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors tethers for children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also standard for all trim levels. Automatic high beams, pre-collision assist with automatic emergency braking then as well. Then if you go with the XLT trim level and up, you will get, in addition to that, lane keep assist, reverse parking sensors, blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert as well. It's going to be the little car icons in the side mirrors, letting you know if somebody is in your blind spot so you don't go turning into them. Then if you go with the King Ranch trim level and up, that is going to give you a forward sensing system, adaptive cruise control, evasive steering assist, and intersection then assist as well. And so overall, when it comes to my final thoughts, you guys may already know, this truck is special. This is freaking amazing with plenty of class exclusives, specifically in the bed of this thing. It's absolutely wonderful. I love the onboard generator, the fold flat shifter, the folding center armrest, the roller on the tailgate is amazing, the American flag on the side of the air vents, all of this stuff you don't see other trucks out there doing, so I gotta love it. I would say the sweet spot on the F-150 as far as trim levels go is going to be the Lariat. That really gives you the most for your money, I would say, including that 12-inch infotainment screen. You got the digital gauges with the Lariat as well, ambient lighting, LED headlights. That is really the trim I would stick to if I were getting the F-150, because that really does give you a good bit there once you hit that trim level. As far as room for improvement goes, that fold down shifter, I remember seeing the comments all over the place when I first put out my first look video of this one. When I showed that, nobody knows what the reliability is going to be. I would assume Ford would have thought of that already, how this feature is actually going to last over time, and I would assume they would have put it to the test. I'm sure they have. So when it comes to a feature like that, if I were Ford, I would definitely put that shifter to the test a million times just to make sure it didn't break. So having said that, for all the people that say, what about the reliability of the shifter? I'm sure Ford thought of that, so I'm sure they took care of that in the end. And in addition to that, you do have the 3-year, 36,000 mile bumper to bumper warranty as well, so that keeps you covered for a little bit at least. Also, when it comes to room for improvement, that 60 to 0 stopping distance being 136 feet is not the best, but again, having said that, the braking feel did feel perfectly fine for me. So in the end, the positives far outweigh the negatives in this thing. And I've tested a good bit of trucks at this point, and quite honestly, this thing impressed me. The 2021 F-150, so much better than the previous generations. There are 4 deer just sprinting right now across that cornfield, but I'm getting off topic, but dang, they are quick. So in the end, yes, you definitely have to go out and check the new 2021 F-150 out. It certainly impressed me. So many class exclusives, specifically again in the cargo area. So let me know what you guys think of the new F-150 in the comments section below. I always love reading your comments. Also, thank you for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media at the bottom of the screen. If you want to see what's coming next on the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button. If you're into new car, truck, SUV reviews, that is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay go.